The explosion at the Otedola Underpass has left 4 persons dead, with survivors and colleagues dealing with the loss of loved ones, their sources of income and their burned property. Yesterday's explosion erupted when a dysfunctional gas tanker lost control of its brakes, overturned at the underpass. Tricycles has more.
For about 14 hours, residents and business owners around the Otedola Underpass watched emergency responders put out a fire that was caused by a 30-ton gas tanker. The incident happened on Tuesday night, and eyewitnesses say the gas tanker lost control due to a brake failure.
The truck was coming from express. It was leaked to this road from that express. When the truck wanted to leak to this road, and among people was that junction, the way the driver was driving, some car was parked on the front. We are trying to clear the car that the man was telling us that this truck was not okay. The man said it. That the vehicle left that place, we just hear from there that boom! We did attend that to come to this place. When we get to this place, the situation that we meet here, nobody can go to the place to go and rescue the property.
The activities of tanker drivers, and especially those conveying waste cargo, is a major challenge. About 3 weeks ago, LASMA and police team, we went to Ibejuleki to make sure that we cleared the Dangote refinery. What do you expect after the 3rd day? They decided to go on strike. Everybody was shouting LASMA. It's a challenge, I must agree with you.
According to emergency responders, 4 persons have been confirmed dead, while 3 other adult males have been rushed to the Bagada General Hospital for treatment. Out of the 4 persons that have been confirmed dead, one of them, we understand, is a mechanic that was trying to save his customer's vehicle. These casualties are the latest from a series of accidents that have occurred around the Otedola section of the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway.
My wife's car, an Islander, so the mechanic who unfortunately lost his life in this incident. And we were talking on the phone, and he said, "Come, the car is ready." So just up the road here by OPE building, he called me again, and I said I was a minute away. Got to this divider here, and the trailer came down this way. I just took took right, straight into CMD Road. Started parking and calling the mechanic to tell him, because I knew it was by this gate here, that he should abandon the car and save his life.
Then what happened?
And then the explosion. As soon as that thing landed on its back, the truck, he told them to flee, that he needed to save the customer's car. His own car was there.
While the recovered bodies have been handed over to the Lagos State Environmental Health Monitoring Unit, those who were affected by these incidents are asking for compensation. The fire affected 12 vehicles, 8 tricycles and 1 building in close proximity to the accident. Sarah Ayeku, TVC News, Lagos.
Well, another day you watch the news and it turns to your belly. Sarah has been covering this story since last night. She was there earlier today, and she's with me right now in the studio. What a sad story to tell. When you sent the pictures yesterday, it looked like a war zone.
It was really scary. So I was just passing through, and you know, people were shouting. When you get to a scene like that, you don't know what is happening, because all you can see is the emergency responders trying to either put out a fire or trying to ensure that there is crowd control, because you had people putting out their phones to, of course, record, which is the norm these days and which is what we see at emergency scenes. And so you don't actually know what has happened, casualty figures yet, and everything is still unclear. And this morning we got a clearer picture as to what actually happened. We had thought that, oh, maybe probably the tanker fell from the bridge, because, you know, the bridge is one problematic part of the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. We've always complained about that particular section of the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. Engineers have talked about it. The Ministry of Works have talked about it. But there seems, you know, we don't know what is going on with that particular section. But incidentally, or unfortunately, this happened at the underpass, not on the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. But the fact that it happened at the underpass is that this particular truck knew that there was a problem with the truck. So people around said they heard him shout, keep shouting. There was no brake. The brake had failed, and so they were asking vehicles to move. But some persons, of course, had their car windows wound up. They couldn't hear, and then that happened. It swerved, hit the the culvert, and then the tank overturned, and then there was an explosion. So in a bid, the story that really got to me, you know, apart from, you know, the people that were caught up in the vehicles that could not escape on time, some persons also died in that, you know, in that there was a vehicle just ahead of the truck. There was another behind. You know, some persons were able to, you know, run away from them. They left their vehicles and then they ran for safety. But for this particular mechanic, who apparently people around the area knew him very well. They really liked him. They knew him so well, because I was even in the bus and I could hear Ogarotimi, you know, and then I came in this morning and I could still hear the man's name on their lips, and they could talk about someone they really liked, and the fact that he was rushing to save the vehicle of his customer.
So to think that that's the same path we've taken for years,
Exactly.
you know, while we're in Ketu. Let's bring in fire safety consultant Debbie Wundele, who joins us on the news tonight. Ms. Wundele, talk to us about what could have been done differently to salvage the situation.
Good evening, viewers. Good evening, presenters. I tell you what, these are just too many accidents happening all the time. A lot of things could have been done that could actually avert this. To start off with, the regulators need to get on board with all these tanker drivers. Number one, I heard from your presenter now saying the brakes of the driver of the vehicle wasn't in order. How on earth did this person leave wherever they packed the stuff from without being regulated? In the UK where I trade, before you actually leave your station, an MOT would have been done on the car, on the vehicle, to actually check that all the tires are working properly, the brakes are working properly, before you actually leave your base, because you're carrying flammable substance. So a lot of things need to be done in terms of where the regulators need to come in. The people that actually regulate these people, the drivers, the carriers, everyone, the regulators just need to get on board and start bringing in tough rules on these drivers and the owners of the substance. Because, I mean, this really needs to stop. It's just every other day that's happening.
Is there also a sense to which you think that a state of emergency has to be declared in that axis, considering the consistency with which accidents of this nature happen with articulated vehicles? Just in the morning yesterday, before 7:30 a.m., you know, there was an almost disastrous incident happened involving a trailer as well.
I tell you what, that axis, I live around that axis, and it's kind of like, everyone around there is so used to it. When you hear the Otedola Bridge, you know, oh, it's happened again. It's kind of like a norm now, and it should not be. I don't think all these vehicles should be piling the roads at those times of the day. They should actually be moving around when there's less traffic around there, when there's less human vehicle around there. There needs to be rules about these people going around at those odd hours.
Yes. Good place to live it. Fire safety consultant Debbie Wundele, thank you for talking to us. Sarah Yeku, your first big story at TVC was at the Otedola Bridge. I remember speaking with the permanent secretary of LASEMA yesterday night that why Otedola Bridge, and he was talking about the conduct of the drivers. I think perhaps we need to pay more attention to that particular bridge and see what's wrong with it.
Of course, perhaps. There are regulations everywhere.
Indeed. But,
you know, when I spoke with the general manager for LASMA, he said that they are trying to engage some of these tank drivers and then, you know, the down tools. You know, so that conversation is still ongoing. Hopefully, we'll get to a round table, that's the negotiation table, and we're able to find a lasting solution to that.
Senior correspondent Sarah Yeku, thank you.